Story of Yaskue Part 2. In 1579, Yaskue arrived in Japan in the service of the Italian Jesuit missionary Alessandro Valignano. Valignano had been appointed the visitor, inspector, of the Jesuit missions in the Indies, which at that time meant East Africa, South, Southeast, and East Asia. Valignano's party spent the first 2 years of their stay in Japan, mainly in Kyushu. Entering 1581, Valignano decided to visit the capital Kyoto as an envoy. He wanted to have an audience with Oda Nobunaga, the most powerful man in Japan, to ensure the Jesuits' missionary work before leaving Japan. These events are recorded in a 1581 letter Luis Frois wrote to Lorenzo Messia's death, and in the 1582 annual report of the Jesuit mission in Japan, also by Frois. These were published in Cartas que os Padres e Irmãos da Companhia de Jesus escreverão dos Reinos de Japão e China II, 1598, normally known simply as Cartas. On 27 March 1581, Valignano, together with Luis Frois, who had arrived in Japan earlier, had an audience with Nobunaga, and Yaskue is said to have accompanied them as an attendant. The Jesuit Luis Frois wrote that while in the capital, a melee broke out among the local townsfolk who fought amongst themselves to catch a glimpse of Yaskue, breaking down the door of a Jesuit residence in the process, and ended in a number of deaths and injuries among the Japanese. Luis Frois's annual report on Japan states that Nobunaga also longed to see a black man and summoned him. For Organtino took Yaskue to Nobunaga, who upon seeing a black man for the first time, refused to believe that his skin color was natural and not applied later, and made him remove his clothes from the belt upwards. Suspecting that Yaskue might have ink on his body, Nobunaga made him undress and wash his body, but the more Yaskue was washed and scrubbed, the darker his skin became. Nobunaga's children attended the event, and one of his nephews gave Yaskue money. The Shincho-koki manuscript describes Yaskue as follows. On the 23rd of the second month, a blackamoor came from the Kirishitan country. He appeared to be 26 or 27 years old, black over his whole body, just like an ox. This man looked robust and had a good demeanor. What is more, his formidable strength surpassed that of 10 men. The Bataran brought him along by way of paying his respects to Nobunaga. Indeed, it was owing to Nobunaga's power and his glory that yet unheard-of treasures from the three countries and curiosities of this kind came to be seen here time and again, a blessing indeed. Nobunaga was impressed by Yaskue and asked Valignano to give him over. He gave him the Japanese name Yaskue, accepted him as attendant at his side, and made him the first recorded foreigner to receive the rank of samurai. Nobunaga granted Yaskue the honor of being his weapon-bearer and served as some sort of bodyguard. According to Lopez Vera, he was occasionally allowed to share meals with the warlord, a privilege extended to few other vassals. The Shincho-koki of the Sonkeikaku Bunko, Zonjingo Wenku, archives states it was ordered that the young black man be given a stipend, fuchi, named Yaskue, and provided with a sword, sayajuan, sayamaki, key, and a private residence. At times, he was also entrusted with carrying the master's weapons. According to historians, this was the equivalent to the bestowing of warrior or samurai rank during this period. Yaskue was also granted servants according to Thomas Lockley. Father Lorenzo Messia wrote in a letter to Father Pero da Fonseca dated 8th of October 1581. The black man understood a little Japanese, and Nobunaga never tired of talking with him. And because he was strong and had a few skills, Nobunaga took great pleasure in protecting him and had him roam around the city of Kyoto with an attendant. Some people in the town said that Nobunaga might make him as Tono, Lord. Yaskue next appears in historical records on 11th May 1582. The Ayatada Diary of Matsudaira. Yatada, a vassal of Tokugawa Ieyasu, mentions that Yasuke accompanied Nobunaga on his inspection tour of the region after he destroyed his longtime archenemy, the Takeda clan of Kai. The description of 11 May 1582 states Nobunaga-sama was accompanied by a black man who was presented to him by the missionaries and to whom he gave a stipend. His body was black like ink, and he was 6 shaku 2 biu, 182.4 centimeter or near 6 feet tall. His name was said to be Yaskue. According to Fujita, on 14 May 1581, Yaskue departed for Ekizen province with Frois and the other Christians. They returned to Kyoto on May 30th. Hit the like button for part 2, and don't forget to subscribe.